10 Bobby Lashley matches fans want to see. Number 10. Aleister Black. So we're kicking things off with an NXT superstar and the current NXT champion, to be exact with, the mysterious Aleister Black. Right now, he's one of the most exciting wrestlers in the entire company, and if you aren't watching NXT, checking it out solely for him would not be a disappointment. Aleister has a brilliant gimmick that's just full of intrigue and offers very little talking, which benefits Bobby Lashley because one of his biggest issues was always his microphone skills. Putting him with someone like Lashley allows what they do in the ring to do the talking. Only a select talent can go up against Lashley and make the fans actually believe they can beat him, and Aleister is one of those men. His aerial ability mixed with his hard strikes will be a fascinating matchup to Lashley's power, and hopefully the former ECW star is around long enough for Black's debut on the main roster for it to happen. Number 9. Kurt Angle. In terms of dream matches for the WWE Hall of Famer, Bobby Lashley might not rank highly with talents such as Daniel Bryan and Seth Rollins, likely ranking higher on the list people who fans want to see, Kurt Angle. However, a match between Lashley and Angle could be incredibly entertaining if they get the right story building it up. The pair worked together plenty of times during the run in TNA, and while Angle was a step sharper then, their matches against each other were always entertaining. Should WWE ever decide they want to make Lashley a heel, then a great way to do that could be taking out his general manager, setting up the platform for the feud. While the match likely wouldn't be at their TNA levels, if it's anywhere close to it, then it will entertain the WWE universe. Number 8. Daniel Bryan. At this point, I think every wrestler on the roster's dream matches has Daniel Bryan on it in some way, shape or form. Daniel Bryan at the top of his game is the absolute best wrestler in the world, and since his return, he doesn't look like he missed a beat. Anybody wrestling Daniel Bryan would be entertaining. He knows how to put on a great match with just about anybody, but Bryan has always worked well against people who overpower him, whether that be John Cena, Bray Wyatt, or even Big Show. Bryan knows how to tell the classic story of David vs. Goliath. Pitting him against Lashley would certainly open him up to that story once again, and there's no doubt that Bryan could put on a clinic. Number 7. Braun Strowman. Online people might say how much they love technical wrestling that is full of greatest moves and perfect reversals, but while that is true, there's still something brilliant about seeing two giants collide. That was proven last year at WrestleMania 33 when Goldberg and Brock Lesnar met on the grandest stage of them all, and there's arguably no big man more over with the WWE Universe right now than Braun Strowman. The crowd pops as soon as he throws his hands in the air and screams Braun, and he is yet not to deliver in a big match that doesn't involve Nicholas. Throw him head to head with Bobby Lashley and just let them have a quick power move focused match, and there's no doubt fans will walk away happy. Number 6. Dolph Ziggler. At this stage in his career, it is fair to say that many fans have totally given up on Dolph Ziggler, and it's hard to blame you for that. After all he has gone through, that many stop-start pushes, it's very tough to invest him as a wrestler. Even though he hasn't been booked very well throughout his WWE career, Ziggler is a fantastic wrestler and one of the very best on the roster, and seeing one of the best against Lashley in a match fans didn't get during Lashley's first run is something few people would moan about. One of Ziggler's greatest assets is his ability to sell. The man bumps like crazy to help make other wrestlers look good, and he has made a career out of it, so hats off to him. Therefore, if you want a wrestler to put over Lashley's impressive power moves and also happily take the defeat, Ziggler makes a perfect choice. Number 5. Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura brings out something within the WWE Universe just seems to gravitate to. Even though he hasn't been booked very well on the main roster, whether it's the catchy theme song or the way he presents himself, something about Nakamura clicks with fans. If you want a match for Lashley that'll have a big fight feel and get wrestling fans talking, then it's with the King of Strong Style. Nobody wants to see the same matches from Lashley as his last run, and this would be totally different. When Lashley last worked in WWE, there was nobody who could wrestle like Nakamura, so this would be totally new to fans, which would likely get a major reaction from them. Plus, both men have an MMA background, which is something that could also be played off, which hasn't really happened too much with Nakamura so far. Number 4. Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is a total badass. At least that is what WWE wants us to think, and is exactly how the company portrays him, even though he often gets booed out of the building for no real reason other than the fact fans have made up their minds before he even wrestles at this stage. However, Reigns colliding with Bobby Lashley would be huge, and seeing two monsters of WWE smash together is something that should get any fan excited, whether they like Roman or not. You might hate him, but inside the ring the former Shield member can get the job done, and that is all you need when it comes to a wrestling match. Reigns and Lashley have both suffered from being pushed too hard, too quick, and putting on a great match to prove the fans wrong is something both men should want to do. Number 3. Drew McIntyre. We mentioned earlier about seeing two men simply smashing into each other. Well, that would be the case again here with Drew McIntyre, except unlike Braun Strowman, the former NXT champion is a brilliant worker who can put on a fantastic wrestling match. The pair have history from when they both worked with TNA, but since then, McIntyre has managed to step it up another level, and given that they both have something to prove to the WWE Universe, this could be a perfect mix. Both men had fairly average first runs with the company and never lived up to their potential and hype. So now on their return as bigger and better talents, pitting them together and allowing them to prove they belong could be a really smart move by WWE. Number 2. AJ Styles. Much like how Daniel Bryan is on the wish list of dream opponents for nearly every single wrestler on the WWE Universe, so is AJ Styles, because that is how good he is. Styles is on top of his game right now, and it's tough to find a better packaged wrestler in the world right now than him. Although they may be on separate brands right now, AJ Styles potentially coming head to head with Bobby Lashley just has money written all over it. And there's no doubt that WWE themselves see that. Styles works well against bigger opponents, and having Lashley throw him about like a ragdoll could be incredibly fun, with Styles attempting to work out some form of comeback, marking for a fun match between them. Number 1. Brock Lesnar. Long before Bobby Lashley returned to WWE, fans were calling for this match to happen. It is one of those dream matches that many people never expect to see, yet now we're looking at a real possibility that it could happen. If WWE had any sense, they would make this one of the major matches for SummerSlam, with no title on the line, and just sell it on what it is. Two of the WWE's most dominant and legitimate superstars colliding. Both men are great workers in the ring when they want to be, and because each man has a legitimate MMA career, which is another reason why fans want to see them wrestle, because there's a big fight feel about it that very few WWE matches can offer. If this one doesn't happen, then the company has missed a huge opportunity.